In the detention center, the colonists heard the sudden increase in activity as Xeraxian warriors rushed to defensive positions. Kate smiled at Lisa and Olivia. "It seems the cavalry has arrived." Lisa moved to the small window, trying to see the sky. "What is happening?" Olivia joined her. "The Xeraxians are panicking. Something has them scared." Suddenly, the detention center door slid open. A Xeraxian guard appeared, her weapon raised. Everyone against the wall now. The colonists backed away slowly. The guard was visibly agitated, her scaled skin flushing with stress colors. "What's happening?" Kate asked boldly. "Silence, human," the guard hissed, but her attention was divided, constantly looking toward the ceiling as if expecting something to happen. A low rumble began to build. The ground trembled slightly. The guard looked increasingly nervous, barking orders into her communication device but receiving no response. The rumble grew louder. The walls of the detention center vibrated. Lisa exchanged glances, with Kate, whose expression remained confident. Then came a sound that sent the Xeraxian guard running, the unmistakable roar of landing thrusters directly above the detention center. The guard fled, leaving the door open. Behind her, the colonists could see Xeraxian warriors rushing in all directions, some firing weapons upward, others seeking cover. Kate turned to the colonists with a triumphant smile. "Ladies and gentlemen, I believe Teller Mining Corporation has arrived to protect its investment." Part 2 type marine text in Markdown. Title, Part 2. The sky above New Hope Colony blazed with light as multiple vessels descended through the atmosphere. Sleek and powerful, they bore the distinctive logo of Teller Mining Corporation, not the traditional emblems of Earth military, in orbit. Matriarch Kizara stared at her view screen in growing alarm. Her warship was now surrounded by a fleet of converted mining vessels. Each had been modified with weapon systems and defense capabilities that her sensors suggested were alarmingly powerful. A communication request flashed on her command console. Kizara hesitated, then nodded to Lieutenant Vraza. "Accept the transmission." The screen flickered and a human female appeared. Her dark hair was pulled back severely, her expression cold and businesslike. Behind her was a command center bustling with activity. "This is Michelle Teller, CEO of Teller Mining Corporation. You have attacked a corporate asset and taken our employees hostage. You will withdraw immediately, or face the consequences." Kizara drew herself up to her full impressive height. "This is Grand Matriarch Kizara of the Xeraxian Empire. This colony encroaches on territory claimed by our people. We are within our rights to remove it." Michelle Teller. Expression did not change. "This planet and system were surveyed and claimed by my company 3 standard years ago. We have filed all proper notifications with the Galactic Registry. You are trespassing on private property and have damaged corporate assets valued at over 5 billion credits." Kizara blinked in confusion. "Private property? Your government is not involved in this matter." Michelle interrupted. "This is a corporate action. Teller Mining has shareholders expecting quarterly returns. Your actions have damaged our profit projections. That is something we cannot allow on the surface of New Hope." Lisa, Olivia, and the other colonists cautiously emerged from the detention center. The Xeraxian guards had fled as corporate security forces landed. Throughout the colony, armed personnel in Teller Mining uniforms were securing buildings and disarming alien warriors. Kate Wilson, her face still bruised, led the way outside. A tall human woman in a crisp corporate uniform approached them. "Situation. Report Ms. Wilson," the woman demanded. Kate straightened. Approximately 40 colonists accounted for, no serious injuries. "The Xeraxians have begun dismantling our research facilities and communication arrays. Minimal structural damage to living quarters." The corporate officer nodded. "Miss Teller sends her regards. She wishes to speak with you immediately." She turned to the other colonists. "Medical teams are inbound. Please remain here for processing and debriefing." Lisa stepped forward, confused. "What exactly is happening? Who are all these people?" The officer regarded her coolly. "Teller Mining Corporation Security Division, Ms. Morris. We protect company assets. That includes you and this colony." Olivia shook her head. But there are so many of you, and those ships. She pointed to the sleek vessels now hovering above the colony. Their size and number seemed excessive for a corporate security force. The officer allowed a small smile. Every TMC operation includes full security contingent. We had 7 mining operations in the Caltech system. When we received your distress signal, we simply consolidated our forces in orbit. Kizara was still struggling to comprehend the situation. You mean to tell me that your government has not authorized this intervention, Michelle? Teller smiled thinly. My government will be informed in due course as a courtesy, after we have secured our property. This action falls within standard corporate response protocols for asset protection. Your vessels are armed, Kizara protested. This is an act of war. Michelle raised an eyebrow. No, matriarch. This is asset recovery. You damaged my property. I am simply protecting my investment. My security team is now on the ground taking control of the colony. Your personnel have 2 options: surrender or engage. Our response will be appropriate to their choice. In the colony, Xeraxian warriors found themselves surrounded by well-armed corporate security forces. Faced with overwhelming numbers, most surrendered without resistance. Lisa watched in amazement as the aliens who had seemed so terrifying just hours ago were efficiently disarmed and detained by Teller mining personnel. I cannot believe this is happening, she said to Kate. These are not soldiers. They are corporate security. Kate nodded, watching the proceedings with satisfaction. The distinction means little when you have resources. Michelle Teller employs over 10,000 security personnel across her operations. Many are former military. A shuttle landed nearby, and a woman emerged, surrounded by aides. Her bearing was commanding, her expression stern. Lisa recognized Michelle Teller from news broadcasts. The CEO of Teller Mining Corporation was known for aggressive business tactics and ruthless efficiency. Kate stepped forward. Ms. Teller, welcome to New Hope. Michelle Teller surveyed the colony with a critical eye. Ms. Wilson, status report on my investment. Kate gestured to the damaged buildings. Minimal structural damage. Some equipment loss. The Xeraxians were primarily interested in our communication technology and power systems. Michelle nodded to an aide. Make notes. Schedule replacement of all damaged equipment. Priority on communications and research facilities. Her gaze fell on Lisa. Ms. Morris. I believe our botanical research. Lead. Lisa nodded nervously. Yes, Mom, your work is valuable to us, Michelle stated. I want a complete inventory of any research materials that were damaged or destroyed. Our legal team will include it in the reparations claim. In orbit, Kizara found her. Options dwindling. The human vessels had taken position around her warship, their weapon systems locked on vital areas. Lieutenant Vraza approached with growing concern. Grand Matriarch, our warriors on the surface report they are surrounded. The humans have deployed overwhelming force. Our tactical options are limited, Kizara hissed in frustration. How can a mere company possess such military capability? Vraza reviewed incoming data. It appears this Teller Mining Corporation controls multiple star systems. Their annual revenue exceeds that of several mid-sized planetary economies. They maintain the security force to protect their operations. The communication screen activated again. Michelle Teller's face appeared. Your time is up, Matriarch. My security teams have secured the colony. Your personnel are being detained. What is your decision? Kizara, 4 eyes narrowed. What terms do you offer? Michelle's expression remained businesslike. Your immediate withdrawal from this system. Full reparations. For damages to our property. A formal acknowledgement of our territorial claim. And a commercial treaty establishing trade relations between your empire and our corporation. This is highly irregular, Kizara protested. Such matters are normally handled through diplomatic channels between governments. Michelle smiled slightly. I am not interested in diplomacy. Matriarch, I am interested in business. Your empire has resources my company can use. We have technology your people might value. I see a potential partnership provided you understand the proper relationship on the surface. Lisa watched as corporate medical teams treated injured colonists while engineering crews began repairing damaged structures. The efficiency was remarkable within hours. The colony was returning to normal operations. Olivia joined her carrying a datapad. "These people work fast," she remarked. "New equipment is already being unloaded. They even brought additional defense systems." Lisa shook her head in wonder. "I never realized how much backing we had." Olivia smiled wryly. "You think Teller Mining Corporation would establish a colony without ensuring its security? This was always more than a research outpost." "Lisa, this planet has valuable mineral deposits. The botanical research was important but secondary." Kate approached them. Her conversation with Michelle Teller apparently concluded. "Good news, everyone. Ms. Teller has authorized full restoration of the colony. Plus we getting upgraded facilities and enhanced defenses." "What about the Xeraxians?" Lisa asked. Kate, expression turned serious. "Their ship is being held in orbit. They have agreed to preliminary terms. Though Ms. Teller believes this incident may lead to more significant developments." "What kind of developments?" Olivia asked. As the shuttle departed, returning to the orbiting vessels, Lisa, Olivia, and Kate watched from the colony center. "What do you think will happen?" Kate asked. Olivia shrugged. The Sovereign seemed impressed, but also intimidated. Lisa looked up at the darkening sky. "I think everything is about to change. Not just for New Hope, but for human expansion in this entire sector." Kate nodded thoughtfully. "Ms. Teller believes this incident will establish a new paradigm for human-alien relations. Not through military conquest or traditional diplomacy, but through corporate expansion. The Xeraxian Empire's about to learn how humans really build their presence in the galaxy. One business deal at a time." 4. 1 month after the diplomatic visit, New Hope Colony was unrecognizable. Construction crews worked around the clock, expanding facilities and building new structures. The original settlement now formed just a small part of a rapidly growing corporate base. Lisa stood on the observation platform of her newly expanded research facility, gazing at the transformation. Below her, 3 massive landing pads accommodated constant shuttle traffic, bringing equipment and personnel from orbiting ships. "Hard to believe this all started with an attack," she said to Olivia, who stood beside her. Reviewing security reports on a datapad, Olivia nodded without looking up. "Ms. Teller calls it accelerated development timeline. The 5-year expansion plan compressed into 6 months." Kate Wilson approached them, her face now fully healed from the Xeraxian attack. "Good morning, ladies. Impressed with our progress?" Lisa gestured to the bustling activity. "How many people are here now?" Kate consulted her datapad. "Current population 1,243, up from our original 82. And that just the permanent residents. We have over 3,000 construction workers temporarily stationed in orbit." Olivia finally looked up from her work. "And our security presence?" 400 dedicated security personnel," Kate replied, "plus automated systems that could handle a fleet 3 times the size of what the Xeraxians brought against us. Ms. Teller is taking no chances." Lisa shook her head in amazement. "And the Xeraxians, have they agreed to the treaty?" Kate smiled. "That what I came to tell you. The Imperial Council ratified the agreement yesterday. New Hope is now officially recognized as a Teller Mining Corporation territory, with exclusive development rights. The trade provisions take effect immediately. What exactly does that mean for us?" Lisa asked. Kate's eyes gleamed with excitement. "It means expanded operations throughout this sector. The agreement grants us mining rights on 2 Xeraxian colony worlds plus exclusive trade routes through their territory. But most importantly for you, Lisa, it includes biological resource rights." Lisa stared at her. "Biological resource rights?" Kate nodded. "The agreement allows us to collect and study plant and microbial samples from 12 Xeraxian worlds. Your department budget just increased 10-fold. Your new assignment is to establish a comprehensive xenobotanical research program." Lisa felt a rush of excitement. This was beyond anything she had imagined when she first arrived at the small research outpost 3 years ago. Olivia frowned slightly, reading between the lines. "And what did the Xeraxians get in return?" Kate's expression became more measured. limited access to human propulsion technology, defensive systems for their border worlds, and most critically a corporate protection clause. What that? Olivia asked. Kate lowered her voice. Although this agreement is between the Xeraxian Empire and Teller Mining Corporation, it includes provisions that designate their worlds as under TMC protection. This effectively warns off other human corporations from aggressive expansion into their territory. Lisa raised an eyebrow. So Ms. Teller gets exclusive access and the Xeraxians get protection from other human companies. That seems mutually beneficial. Kate finished. Ms. Teller prefers the term strategic partnership in orbit above New Hope. Michelle Teller surveyed the holographic display showing the expanded operations throughout the system. Satellites mined the asteroid belt. Automated probes explored outer planets for resources, and a constant stream of ships arrived, bringing materials and personnel. Her assistant entered the observation deck. Ms. Teller, the Xeraxian liaison, has arrived. Send them, and Michelle replied, continuing to study the display. The door slid open, revealing a Xeraxian official smaller than the Sovereign, but bearing the distinctive markings of the Imperial Diplomatic Corps. Grand Executive Teller. I am Minister Zaxara. Representing the Imperial Council, I bring official notification of treaty ratification. Michelle turned and nodded in acknowledgement. Minister, welcome to the Teller Ascendant. I am pleased to hear the Council has approved our agreement. The Minister presented a data crystal. This contains all authorization codes and access permissions as specified in the treaty. The Sovereign extends her personal regards and hopes for a prosperous relationship. Michelle accepted the crystal. The beginning of a valuable partnership, I trust. She gestured to the display. Would you care to see what we have accomplished in just 1 month? The Minister approached the hologram, her 4 eyes blinking in sequence. Impressive. The efficiency of your operation exceeds our projections. Michelle smiled. We move quickly when opportunity presents itself. A trait your people will come to appreciate. On New Hope Colony, Lisa began planning her expanded research program. She now had a team of 20 scientists under her. Direction and resources that would have been unimaginable weeks earlier. She addressed her team in the new conference room. Welcome, everyone. To those who just arrived, I look forward to working with you. Our mandate has expanded significantly beyond our original mission. She activated the display showing the 12 Xeraxian worlds they now had access to. These planets represent a botanical treasure trove species that evolved in completely different conditions from Earth organisms. The potential for medical, pharmaceutical, and agricultural applications is enormous. One of the new researchers raised a hand. What about Xeraxian biological research? Do they share their findings with us? Lisa nodded. That part of the agreement gives us access to their botanical databases. They actually have extensive knowledge, particularly in medicinal plants. Their biotechnology is advanced, though focused differently than ours. Another scientist spoke up. How soon can we begin collection expeditions? Lisa smiled. The first team leaves tomorrow for Zera 4. I will be leading that expedition personally. We have been granted full access to their botanical preserves with Xeraxian scientists as guides. In her office aboard the Teller Ascendant, Michelle Teller reviewed financial projections. The agreement with the Xeraxians had already caused Teller Mining Corporation stock to jump 15%. Shareholders were ecstatic. Board members who had initially questioned her aggressive response to the attack were now fully supportive. Her communication system chimed. Priority message from Earth, Ms. Teller. Your quarterly board meeting begins in 5 minutes. Michelle straightened her jacket and activated the holographic conference system. The board members appeared around her virtual table, their expressions ranging from pleased to ecstatic. Chairwoman Elena Rogers spoke first. Michelle, the Xeraxian deal is nothing short of revolutionary. The market response has been extraordinary. Our competitors are scrambling to understand how we established such a foothold. Michelle nodded. We turned a potential crisis into an opportunity. The attack on New Hope could have been handled as a military matter. Instead, we approached it as a business challenge. Another board member leaned forward. The protection clause is particularly ingenious. You've essentially made the Xeraxians dependent on us while keeping our competitors at bay. Michelle smiled. It serves multiple purposes. The Xeraxians feared human expansion. This gives them security while giving us exclusive access. A true win-win arrangement on New Hope. Lisa prepared for the expedition to Zera 4. Her team loaded specialized equipment onto the research vessel. Each scientist had specific responsibilities for sample collection analysis and documentation. Olivia approached the landing pad where preparations were underway. Taking a security team with you, I hope. Lisa smiled. 6 of your best officers plus Xeraxian escorts, though I doubt we need protection. The treaty is quite clear about our status. Olivia's expression remained serious. Treaties can be broken, Lisa. The Xeraxians attacked us once. I would prefer you remain cautious. Lisa nodded. I promise to be careful. This is too important an opportunity to risk with carelessness. Kate joined them carrying additional equipment. The Xeraxian botanical preserves are apparently extensive. Their approach to conservation is quite advanced. They maintain isolated ecosystems to preserve endangered species. Some of their preserve systems date back thousands of years. Lisa's eyes widened. Imagine what we might discover. Plants that have evolved without interference for millennia. Olivia checked her weapon discreetly. Just remember your safety protocols and check in every 6 hours. No exceptions in orbit. Michelle Teller meeting with the board continued. The expansion goes well beyond New Hope, she explained. The agreement establishes 5 additional corporate bases throughout Xeraxian territory, each focusing on different aspects of our operation. The holographic display showed the planned facilities, mining operations on resource-rich worlds, research centers near Xeraxian scientific communities, processing facilities, at strategic points along trade routes. She turned to her second-in-command, Lieutenant Vraza. These humans will learn what happens when they expand into territory claimed by the Xeraxian Empire. Lieutenant Vraza bowed her scaled head. As you command, Grand Matriarch. Our warriors stand ready on the planet below. Lisa Morris watched the sky with growing dread. Strange lights had appeared above New Hope just hours ago. The colony limited sensors confirmed what everyone feared: an alien vessel of unknown origin and intent. Lisa was not a soldier. She was a botanist who had come to New Hope 3 years ago to study the unique plant life. But now, as sirens blared throughout the settlement, she found herself rushing toward the colony. Small defense center. Inside, she found Olivia Carter, the colony security chief, speaking urgently into a communication device. "They not responding to any of our hails," Olivia said as Lisa entered. "We sent emergency signals to Earth, but help would take at least 5 days to arrive." Lisa swallowed hard. "Do we have any defenses?" Olivia's expression was grim. "A few automated turrets, nothing that could stand against a warship capable of interstellar travel." The first impacts came moments later. The colony shuddered as energy weapons struck the outskirts of the settlement. Screams echoed through the corridors as colonists ran for shelter. From her command chair, Matriarch Kazara watched with satisfaction as the human structures began to burn. "Primitive beings," she remarked. "They build such fragile dwellings." Lieutenant Fraza approached with a slight bow. "Grand Matriarch, our sensors detect only minimal resistance. The humans appear to have limited defensive capabilities." As expected, Kizara waved a dismissive hand. "Prepare landing parties. These humans must be taught their place in the galaxy." The Xeraxian warriors descended in transport vessels, heavily armed and confident. Their species had conquered 12 worlds in the last century, and humans were considered weak and technologically inferior. The warriors, all female as was the case with all Xeraxian military personnel, were eager for an easy victory. They did not expect what happened next. As the first transport landed and warriors began to disembark, a single human female stepped out from behind a damaged building. She appeared unarmed and wore simple civilian clothing. "I am Kate Wilson, Communications Specialist for New Hope Colony." She called out, her voice steady, despite her fear. "We wish to discuss terms." The Xeraxian squad leader, Sergeant Mizzix laughed, a harsh clicking sound. There are no terms, human. Your colony stands on Xeraxian territory. You will submit or be eliminated. Kate maintained her calm demeanor. Before you proceed, I have been instructed to deliver a message from our government. Mizzix raised her weapon. Speak quickly. Human Kate took a deep breath. The message is simple. You attacked a human colony. Congratulations, you doomed your empire. The Xeraxian warriors chittered with amusement. Mizzix stepped forward. Bold. Words from a species about to be conquered. Kate shook her head. This is not bravado. This is a historical fact. Every species that has attacked a human settlement has eventually fallen. We do not seek war, but we end them with absolute efficiency. You still have time to withdraw. Mizzix struck Kate across the face, sending her sprawling to the ground. Your warnings mean nothing. Take this one for interrogation. Secure the rest of the colony. As Kate was dragged away, she locked eyes with Mizzix. You made your choice. Remember, I tried to warn you. Over the next hours, the Xeraxians secured the colony, taking prisoners and establishing control. The humans offered little resistance, which only reinforced the Xeraxians' belief in their superiority. Back on her ship, Matriarch Kizara received the reports with satisfaction. Excellent. The colony is ours with minimal casualties. Begin resource extraction immediately. On the surface, Lisa and Olivia found themselves herded into a makeshift prison with other colonists. The Xeraxians had converted the colony main storage facility into a detention center. We need to do something, Olivia whispered. They taking everything we built. Lisa looked around at the frightened faces of her fellow colonists, but what can we do? Their weapons are beyond anything we have. A new prisoner was shoved into the detention center, her face bruised and swollen. Lisa recognized her as Kate Wilson from the communications team. Kate. What happened? Lisa asked, helping her to a bench in the corner. Kate touched her swollen jaw gingerly. I tried to warn them, I really did. What did you say? I told them the truth. Kate replied. That attacking humans is always a fatal mistake for any empire. They thought I was bluffing, in orbit. Lieutenant Vradza was monitoring communications when she detected something unusual. Grand Matriarch, I am receiving unusual transmissions from the edge of the system. What kind of transmissions? Kizara demanded. Vradza adjusted her equipment. I cannot say they are encrypted, but they are not coming from the direction of Earth. They appear to be originating from the nearby Caltech system. Kizara frowned. That system has no habitable planets. Why would anyone be there? Vradza continued scanning. I am not certain, but the transmissions increased after the humans sent their distress signal. It appears someone received their message and is responding. Kizara dismissed the concern with a wave of her hand. It matters not. In 5 days we will have stripped this colony of all valuable resources and departed. Even if Earth sends a response force, they will find nothing but ruins. On the surface, the Xeraxians began dismantling colony structures. The aliens were particularly interested in the communication systems and power generators in the detention center. Lisa watched through a small window as her laboratory was taken apart piece by piece. Everything I worked for, she whispered. 3 years of research gone. Kate sat beside her, touching her arm gently. Do not worry. They won't have time to take it all. Lisa turned to her. What do you mean? Kate lowered her voice. New Hope is not an official Earth government colony. It privately owned and operated. Olivia joined them, overhearing the conversation. She nodded. True. This entire settlement is actually owned by Teller Mining Corporation. They established us here to survey the planet for potential mining operations. The botanical research was a secondary objective. Lisa looked confused. But what difference? Does that make the Xeraxians still have us trapped and Earth forces are days away? Kate smiled despite her bruised face. The difference is that Teller Mining Corporation does not rely on Earth military. They have their own security forces, and they have operations in the Caltech system just half a light year away. Olivia's eyes widened. You think the company received our distress call? Kate nodded. I specifically included corporate emergency codes in the transmission. The company values its investments. They will not let this colony fall in space. Matriarch Kizara was growing concerned about the strange communications Lieutenant Vraza had detected. Set up a patrol perimeter around the system. I want to know if anyone approaches. Vraza bowed as you. Command below in the colony detention center night had fallen. The Zeraxian guards patrolled less frequently, most of them busy with the resource extraction. Kate gathered the colonists, speaking in hushed tones. Everyone listen carefully. When help arrives, there will be confusion and opportunity. We need to be ready to move. How can you be so sure help is coming? One colonist asked. Kate's expression was determined. Because I know Michelle Teller. She does not tolerate threats to her property. This colony represents a 5 billion credit investment. She will respond. Lisa looked skeptical. A single company against an alien empire. Kate smiled. Corporate assets exceed those of many planetary governments. Lisa Teller Mining Corporation has a fleet of ships that would make most admirals jealous. They just use them for mining operations and security rather than war. Olivia nodded. She right. The company has exclusive mining rights to 17 star systems. Their security forces are state-of-the-art. As the night deepened, the colonists tried to rest, though sleep was difficult under the circumstances. Lisa lay awake staring at the ceiling, wondering if Kate's confidence was misplaced, or if help truly was on the way. In orbit, Lieutenant Vraza suddenly jolted upright at her monitoring station. Grand Matriarch, I'm detecting multiple objects entering the system. At high velocity, Kizara moved quickly to the command center. Show me. The sensor display lit up with dozens of approaching objects, moving at speeds that suggested advanced propulsion systems. What are they? Kizara demanded. Are they Earth vessels? Vraza analyzed the readings. They do not match known Earth military configurations, but they are definitely of human origin. They appear to be modified industrial vessels. Kizara four eyes blinked in confusion. Industrial? Why would humans send mining ships to respond to a military action on the surface? A Zeraxian guard burst into the command post that had been established in the colony administrative building. High Commander, we are detecting multiple vessels entering orbit. They are surrounding our ship. The Zeraxian commander Drezax looked up from the terminal where she had been cataloging human resources. What type of vessels? The guard looked confused. They appear to be human but not military. They bear the markings of some kind of commercial entity. Drezax stood immediately. Raise shields. Prepare for possible engagement. Kate smiled. A market opening. The Zeraxian Empire controls substantial resources that TMC has been interested in for some time. This unfortunate incident has provided an unexpected opportunity for corporate expansion. Lisa stared at her. You mean Miss Teller planned? This? Kate laughed. No, of course not. But she certainly knows how to capitalize on an opportunity. This is why she's so successful. She sees profit potential in every situation, even a crisis in orbit. Kizara reluctantly agreed to Michelle Teller terms. The alternative was the likely destruction of her vessel and the loss of all her warriors on the surface. It was a humiliating position for a Grand Matriarch of the Zeraxian Empire. I accept your terms, Kizara said formally, though our Imperial Council will need to ratify any long-term agreements. Michelle nodded. Of course I understand bureaucracy, Matriarch. In the meantime, my security forces will escort your ship to the edge of the system. Your warriors will be returned to you once proper reparations have been arranged. As the communication ended, Kizara turned to Lieutenant Vraza. Set course to withdraw from the system. Once clear, send an urgent message to the Imperial Council. We must convene immediately to discuss this situation. Vraza bowed her head. As you command, Grand Matriarch. But what of our warriors on the surface? We will negotiate their return, Kizara said grimly. But first we must understand what we are dealing with. These humans are unlike any species we have encountered. Their corporate entities wield power equivalent to our government. They respond to aggression not with military force but with business tactics. I find it unsettling. On New Hope Colony, Michelle Teller walked with Kate Wilson inspecting. The damage to the settlement. Her team of advisors followed, documenting everything for the reparations claim. The Zeraxians made a costly error, Michelle remarked. They assumed this was an Earth government colony. They expected diplomatic protests, perhaps a military response in several days. They did not anticipate a corporate reaction within hours. Kate nodded. The Grand Matriarch seemed genuinely confused by your involvement. Michelle smiled. That confusion is our advantage. The Zeraxian Empire has resources we have been trying to access for years. Their government has rebuffed traditional diplomatic overtures. But now we have leverage. What will happen next? Kate asked. Michelle surveyed the colony, her eyes calculating. We will rebuild here, of course stronger than before. This colony will become a forward operating base for our expansion into this sector, including Zeraxian territory. You believe they will allow that? Michelle's expression was confident. They have little choice. Their military advantage has been neutralized. They now understand that attacking human interests brings swift consequences, and soon they will learn the most important lesson of all. What lesson is that? That humans do not just fight wars. Ms. Wilson, we conduct business, and business is ultimately more powerful than any empire. As night fell on New Hope Colony, Lisa sat outside her partially rebuilt laboratory. The stars shone overhead, including one that she now knew was the home system of the Zeraxian Empire. She wondered what would happen there in the coming days as the news of this encounter spread. Olivia joined her, carrying 2 cups of synthetic coffee. Quite a day, she remarked, handing 1 cup to Lisa. From alien invasion to corporate rescue. Lisa accepted the drink gratefully. Do you think the Zeraxians will retaliate? Olivia shook her head. I doubt it. They just learned that a single human corporation could match their military might. What do you think will happen when they realize Earth has thousands of such corporations all competing for resources and markets? Lisa looked up at the stars again. I never thought of it that way. We always worry about government responses, military actions. But maybe that's not how humans will spread through the galaxy, no? Olivia agreed. It will be business that leads our expansion corporation, seeking new markets, new resources, new opportunities. The Zeraxians just had the misfortune of interfering with one of the most aggressive in the command center that had been established in the colony administrative building. Michelle Teller was already planning her next moves. The Zeraxian incident had created unexpected opportunities, and she intended to capitalize on every one of the type R, text, markdown, title, Part 3. 1 week after the Zeraxian attack, New Hope Colony was transformed, the damaged buildings had been rebuilt, security systems upgraded, and additional personnel had arrived from other Teller Mining Corporation. Operations. Lisa stood outside her new laboratory, marveling at the improvements. They even gave me new equipment, she remarked to Olivia, who was reviewing security protocols on a datapad. Equipment I requested months ago, but was told was too expensive to ship out here. Olivia nodded without looking up. Amazing what becomes available when the CEO takes a personal interest. She glanced around at the enhanced defense turrets now positioned strategically throughout the colony. And look at these security upgrades, state-of-the-art systems, usually reserved for primary mining operations. Kate Wilson approached them, her facial bruises now fading. Good morning, ladies. Enjoying the improvements. Lisa gestured to the colony. It all happened so fast I can hardly believe it was the same place. Kate smiled. The corporation moves quickly when profit is at stake. Ms. Teller sees New Hope as a strategic location now, not just a research outpost. Olivia looked up from her datapad. Strategic for what? Kate's expression became more serious. The Zeraxian situation is evolving in interesting ways. Would you like to join the briefing? Ms. Teller has called all department heads to discuss developments. In orbit above New Hope, the corporate flagship Teller Ascendant maintained position. Its sleek design belied its power capabilities. Michelle Teller stood on the bridge reviewing reports from throughout the system. Status of the perimeter security. Ms. Chen, she asked a junior officer, all secure. Ms. Teller. Automated defense platforms have been deployed at all system entry points. Early warning systems are operational. Michelle nodded and the Xeraxians, the officer consulted her screen. Their diplomatic delegation is expected to arrive within the hour. They report 3 vessels, a primary diplomatic ship with 2 escorts, all unarmed as required. Very good, Michelle replied. Alert me when they enter the system. In the colony meeting hall, Lisa, Olivia, Kate, and other department heads gathered for the briefing. A large display showed the status of operations throughout the New Hope system. Kate called the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. As you know, the incident with the Xeraxian Empire has led to significant changes in our operation here. Ms. Teller has authorized me to share the latest developments. She activated the main screen showing a star map. The Xeraxian Empire controls this region of space, approximately 30 star systems, with 7 major colony worlds and numerous mining operations. Their technology is advanced particularly in biotechnology and organic computing, but they lag behind humans in propulsion systems and weapons technology. This explains why they targeted a seemingly undefended research colony rather than a major Earth settlement. Olivia commented. Precisely, Kate agreed. Their strategy was sound based on the information they had. A small, isolated human outpost would be an easy target, allowing them to establish a foothold and gain human technology with minimal risk. What they failed to understand, Lisa added, was that even our smallest colonies have powerful backing. Kate nodded. The Xeraxian Empire operates on a hierarchical structure with their government controlling all aspects of their society, including commerce. They have no concept of independent corporate entities, with resources comparable to planetary governments. She changed the display showing the approaching Xeraxian diplomatic vessels. As you can see, they are sending a high-level delegation. Their council of matriarchs has authorized negotiations directly with Teller Mining Corporation. This is unprecedented in their history. They have never negotiated with any entity other than established governments. What do they want? Olivia asked. Primarily, they want to avoid conflict, Kate replied. They now recognize that their military forces are insufficient to challenge even a single human corporation. Their scans of our fleet revealed capabilities that alarmed them greatly. And what does Ms. Teller want? Lisa asked. Kate smiled. That is the interesting question. Ms. Teller sees an opportunity for significant expansion. The Xeraxians control resources we need. They possess technology we can use, and they now fear human corporate power. This creates perfect conditions for what Ms. Teller calls aggressive market penetration on the bridge of the Teller Ascendant. An officer approached Michelle Teller. Ms. Teller, the Xeraxian vessels have entered the system. They are following the designated approach vector. Michelle nodded. Deploy escort vessel standard protocol. The officer hesitated. Ms. Teller, our scans indicate the Xeraxian diplomatic vessel is carrying someone of extreme importance. Their security protocols suggest it may be the Imperial Sovereign herself. Michelle raised an eyebrow. Interesting, the Sovereign rarely leaves their homeworld. This suggests they are taking this matter very seriously. Alert security, prepare a suitable reception in the New Hope meeting hall. Kate continued the briefing. The negotiation strategy has several phases. First, reparations for damage to our colony. Second, acknowledgement of our territorial claims. Third, and most importantly, establishing a framework for corporate access to Xeraxian markets and resources. One of the research directors raised a hand. What does this mean for our work here? Will we continue botanical studies? Kate nodded. The research mandate remains unchanged. In fact, it expands. Ms. Teller believes our botanical discoveries have significant commercial applications, particularly in pharmaceuticals. That work continues with increased funding and personnel. Lisa felt a surge of excitement. More funding meant expanded research capabilities. Additionally, Kate continued, New Hope will serve as our primary forward base for operations in this sector. The colony will triple in size over the next 6 months with additional research facilities, mining operations, and corporate offices. The meeting was interrupted by a communication alert. Kate answered it, then turned back to the group. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that the Xeraxian delegation includes their Imperial Sovereign. This is a significant development Ms. Teller requests that all department heads prepare for. A formal reception on the Teller Ascendant. Michelle Teller adjusted her formal business attire. Her aide reviewed protocol notes. The Sovereign has never left Xeraxian space before. This is unprecedented, Michelle smiled. It demonstrates how seriously they are taking the situation. The attack on our colony has created an opening we could not have anticipated. Their fear of human corporate power gives us leverage. We must use it wisely. The Xeraxian vessels docked with the Teller Ascendant using specially designed adapters to accommodate their organic technology. The main airlock cycled. Revealing the delegation, first came Xeraxian guards, their scales gleaming with ceremonial oils, then advisors and ministers moving with careful dignity. Finally, surrounded by protective devices, the Imperial Sovereign herself. Her size dwarfed the other Xeraxians, her scales shimmering with iridescent colors that signified her royal status. All four of her eyes fixed on Michelle Teller. Michelle stepped forward with perfect composure. Imperial Sovereign, welcome aboard the Teller Ascendant. I am Michelle Teller, Chief Executive Officer of Teller Mining Corporation. The Sovereign spoke her translator, converting her clicking speech to English. I am Sovereign, Xelarax, eternal ruler of the Xeraxian Empire, guardian of the 30 worlds. I come in person to address the unfortunate incident involving your settlement. Michelle gestured toward a conference room. We have prepared suitable accommodations for our discussion. Please follow me in the colony. Lisa and the other department heads watched the proceedings via secure transmission. The arrival of the Xeraxian Sovereign had shocked everyone. I cannot believe their actual ruler came in person, Olivia whispered. This would be like the President of Earth dropping by to discuss a border skirmish. Kate smiled faintly. The Xeraxians are taking no chances. They realized that attacking a human colony, even one they thought was insignificant, was a grave error. They want to contain the damage. In the conference room aboard the Teller Ascendant, Michelle Teller and Sovereign Xelarax sat across from each other, surrounded by their respective advisors. Let us speak plainly. Xelarax began. The attack on your colony was unauthorized. Grand Matriarch Kizara exceeded her authority. She has been removed from her position and will face imperial justice. Michelle nodded appreciatively. I understand. Such misunderstandings can occur when communications are unclear or Sovereign four eyes blinked in sequence. We are prepared to offer full reparations for the damage to your settlement. The Grand Council has authorized payment of 50 million imperial credits. Michelle smiled. That is generous. However, reparations are only the beginning of what must be discussed. The incident has raised questions about future relations between your empire and my corporation. Xelarax shifted uncomfortably. Such relations would normally be handled through your government. Michelle leaned forward slightly. In human space, sovereign corporations often operate independently, especially in frontier regions. Teller Mining Corporation holds exploration and development rights to 17 star systems. Our annual revenue exceeds the HFY planetary budget of Earth, Mars, and the Jovian colonies combined. We are in effect our own entity. The Sovereign conferred briefly with her advisors. This concept is foreign to us. In the Empire, all commerce is controlled by the state. All the more reason to establish clear protocols now. Michelle replied, We have prepared a proposal for your consideration. It includes provisions for trade, mutual development, and cultural exchange. On New Hope colony, preparations were underway for the potential visit of the Xeraxian delegation. Lisa supervised the arrangement of botanical specimens. Her new laboratory had been selected as one of the tour locations. Do you think they will really come down to the surface? She asked Kate, who was overseeing the preparations. Kate nodded. Miss Teller believes a tour of the colony will reinforce several key points. First, that we have completely recovered from their attack. Second, that we are not a military threat but a commercial and scientific enterprise. And third, that we possess technology they might find valuable. Olivia entered, carrying security plans. The defense grid will be fully operational but running in passive mode. We want them to see our capabilities without feeling threatened. Kate smiled. Perfect, Ms. Teller would approve of the subtle intimidation aboard the Teller Ascendant. The negotiations continued. The Xeraxian sovereign reviewed the proposal, her advisors chittering quietly among themselves. These terms are extensive. Xelarak said, this would give your corporation access to 5 of our core systems, including mining rights on 2 colony worlds. Michelle maintained her professional demeanor. We are offering significant technology transfers in return, particularly in propulsion and energy systems, areas where your empire could benefit from human advances. One of the Xeraxian ministers leaned toward the sovereign, speaking urgently in their native language. The sovereign listened, then turned back to Michelle. You must understand our concerns. This arrangement would allow a human entity unprecedented access to our territory. Our people already fear human expansion after witnessing your response to a single attack. Michelle nodded sympathetically. I appreciate those concerns, which is why the proposal includes strict limitations on our activities and full profit-sharing arrangements. This is not conquest sovereign. This is business, a partnership that benefits both parties. The sovereign, 4 eyes narrowed slightly, and if we decline, Michelle, expression remained pleasant. That would be unfortunate. The incident with your Grand Matriarch has attracted attention, not just from my corporation but from others. Earth has many corporate entities all competing for resources. Many would view your empire as an untapped market ripe for development. I have taken the liberty of containing this incident, preventing wider knowledge. However, the threat was clear though unstated. If Teller Mining Corporation withdrew its protective influence, other, less accommodating human corporations might take interest in Xeraxian resources. Xelarak conferred with her advisors at length. Finally, she turned back to Michelle. We will consider your proposal. A preliminary agreement may be possible with modifications. Michelle smiled. Excellent. I suggest we continue our discussion with a tour of New Hope Colony. It will give you perspective on our operations and intentions in the colony. Lisa completed the preparations for the royal visit. Her specimens were arranged to showcase the unique properties of New Hope plant life, particularly those with pharmaceutical potential. Olivia approached. Her security sweep is complete. Everything is ready. They arriving in 20 minutes. Lisa felt a flutter of nervousness. I never thought I would be presenting my research to an alien empress. Olivia smiled. Think of it as a very important investor meeting. In a way, that's exactly what it is. The shuttle from the Teller Ascendant descended through New Hope atmosphere carrying Michelle Teller. The Xeraxian sovereign and their entourage Lisa watched from the landing area. As the sleek vessel touched down, corporate security formed an honor guard, their uniforms pristine, their weapons conspicuously holstered. The sovereign emerged, blinking her 4 eyes in the bright sunlight. She towered over the humans, her regal bearing unmistakable. Michelle Teller walked beside her, pointing out features of the colony. Welcome to New Hope, Sovereign, Michelle said. As you can see, we have fully restored all facilities after the unfortunate incident. Our first stop will be our Botanical Research Center, where we are studying the unique plant life of this world. As they approached, Lisa straightened, trying to appear professional. Despite her nervousness, Kate gave her an encouraging nod. Michelle made the introductions. Sovereign Xelarak, may I present Lisa Morris, our lead botanical researcher. Ms. Morris has made several breakthroughs in identifying medicinal compounds in the native flora. Lisa bowed slightly. Welcome to my laboratory, Imperial Sovereign. I have prepared a demonstration of our work. The tour continued throughout the afternoon. The Sovereign was shown all aspects of the colony, from research facilities to living quarters. By the time they returned to the landing area, the sun was setting, casting long shadows across the settlement. The Sovereign turned to Michelle Teller. Your operation is impressive. Most unexpected for what we believed was a minor outpost. Michelle smiled. New Hope represents just a small fraction of Teller Mining Corporation capabilities, Sovereign. This colony will soon expand significantly as our operations in this sector grow. The implication was clear. Whether through partnership or competition, human corporate influence would increase in this region. The Xeraxian Empire could benefit from cooperation, or face the consequences of resistance.